This is one of the more remarkable pivots in modern medicine, and the pace of change here deserves genuine attention rather than either hype or dismissal. The idea that the microbial ecosystem living in your gut, approximately 38 trillion organisms, is as clinically important as your blood pressure was 15 years ago, largely confined to gastroenterology. What has happened since is a quiet revolution in how medicine understands the relationship between the gut and virtually every other organ system in the human body. The evidence is now substantial enough to take seriously. Microbiome dysbiosis, an imbalance in the diversity and composition of gut bacteria, has been associated not just with inflammatory bowel conditions and irritable gut syndromes, but with Parkinson's disease, autism spectrum disorder, multiple sclerosis, type 2 diabetes, and perhaps most strikingly, treatment-resistant depression. That last connection is particularly important because it suggests we have been approaching some of psychiatry's hardest problems with the wrong map. If serotonin is primarily manufactured in the gut, and the gut environment determines how that manufacturing operates, then psychiatric treatment that ignores microbial health may be fundamentally incomplete. The FDA's approval of Vowst, a microbiome-based drug for recurrent C. difficile infection, represents a regulatory acknowledgement that manipulating the microbiome is a legitimate medical intervention, not alternative medicine. That approval matters as a precedent. It opens a regulatory pathway that will be essential for everything that follows. What makes this prediction particularly credible is the economics. DNA sequencing costs have collapsed at a rate faster than Moore's law. When microbiome profiling reaches a $10 price point per test, which is coming, there is no financial argument left against making it a routine part of annual care. The technology is there. The cost barrier is dissolving. What remains is the clinical practice infrastructure, physicians who understand how to interpret microbiome profiles, and a prescribing culture capable of moving beyond broad-spectrum antibiotics as a default. The antibiotic question is actually the most consequential aspect of this shift. Broad-spectrum antibiotics are, by definition, ecologically devastating to the gut microbiome. They don't discriminate between pathogenic and beneficial bacteria. The long-term consequences of repeated antibiotic courses on microbial diversity are real and measurable. A future in which personalized probiotic or prebiotic prescriptions replace or significantly reduce antibiotic use for many common conditions would represent one of the most meaningful changes in clinical practice in decades. The paradigm shift the researchers are pointing to treat the ecosystem, not just the pathogen, is intellectually elegant and scientifically coherent. It also challenges a pharmaceutical industry and a prescribing culture that has been built around the opposite assumption for 80 years. That resistance should not be underestimated. The science is increasingly clear. The institutional inertia is the variable.